So topic today that we'll be covering is a smarter, safer, and more resilient data centers. Before I start, I want to share one of the experiences that we did about a year ago. We partnered with Forrester Consulting, and to understand from the outside-in standpoint, what are the mega trends for the data centers, that what problems that we are trying to solve on the short to medium term. It's very clear that you talk to anyone in the data centers, which is all of us, all of you, and it is about the speed to market, and it is about building it, and it's about getting it to operations. And that has become a competitive advantage today. How quickly you can build up, how quickly you can get it to operations. And then at the same time, you're maintaining it, making it running, keep the uptime as high as you can. And then at the same time, improving the utilization of capacity. There's a limited capacity when it comes to, for example, the cooling power, when it comes to, for example, the physical space. So how do we maximize the utilization? And then the continuously optimizing the efficiencies and the cost savings. The world is realizing that the OPEX is much, much higher than the CAPEX. So running it over a period of time, the amount of money that is required to operate the building, not just on setting up and operations. And then lastly, it's about the managing the energy usage, the operating cost and the carbon footprint, ultimately getting to the net zero to meeting the regulatory requirement as well as the cost savings. If these are the mega trends, if these are the real problems, then we go and ask, what are the real pain points that the leaders are saying today? We talked to several hundred leaders, business leaders in data center industry, and ask, what are your real problems, real situations? 2/3 of them saying, we're working with individual partners. We're working with multiple partners. We go to somebody for HVAC systems, we go to somebody for controls, we go to somebody for fire, and we're working with multiple partners. And they're all realizing that close to 100% is saying, but we are not fully maximizing the value of the full system integration, because these systems doesn't talk to each other. We're not ultimately connected to get the true benefit of the overall system because we're working in silos. And then at the same time, you're not getting the necessary data. Because you're not getting the total system data, the building insights you're getting, and as a result, we're not achieving the operational efficiency that we need, we're not getting the customer loyalty we need, and then at the same time, our ability to meet the regulatory requirements as well. So now everyone want to get our 2030 carbon neutrality, carbon goals that every company is committed to do with the Paris Agreement. But about quarter of our customers are really worried. Are we really going to meet our regulatory requirements? If this is true, that we are not leveraging the full system potential because we work with multiple partners and everyone is trying to maximize their own area, which doesn't mean you're maximizing the system and creating value to providing a smarter, providing more resilient data centers for our customers. And then at the same time, if you look at the energy usage, today about 1 to 2% of the world energy is consumed by the data centers. And this is going to go up to 2 to 3% by 2030. And we do know with the large language models coming in with AI, and it's consuming about 10 times more power than the traditional the operations on a search engines. And then at the same time, how much energy is usage in data centers? If you look at on a per floor space basis, on a regular commercial building versus data centers, and you're consuming about 10 to 50 times depending on the configurations you're talking about. So it's a large energy consumption as well. Then in Johnson Controls, we look at what can we do to help you, to help support data centers in the world, because it's creating a massive opportunity for all of us. But at the same time, it's a challenge, if you do not solve these problems we spoke about. Johnson Controls is a 140-year-old company. It's founded by Professor Warren Johnson, and we have been in building technologies for all that 140 years. And Johnson Controls has the largest product portfolio, from HVAC, from fire, security, control, and to the digital platforms. And we have been in sustainability, energy savings, system integration projects. And we do have the global footprint. We are executing, we're launching projects all over. And we can bring in that technology and capability to address your challenges. So again, if you look at a data center, data centers could face the most dangerous situation of a catching fire. So you need a fire suppression, and of course the fire detection and suppression and all other controls necessary. And at the same time on a security and the HVAC systems and the controls, and then ultimately you're providing a life cycle solutions. So that's what Johnson Controls bringing in, providing these solutions to you. And we are providing integrated solutions. And when we talk to our customers, oftentimes we're starting with our traditional business model of talking to partners a little bit late in the game. But by the time go in, because of the timing pressures and so on, the value we add getting limited. So therefore, it is so important that we are offering our solutions to our customers to join the discussions early. Understand what's the value that we're going to harvest, what's in the discovery phase, and understand what is the real need. This process, we are offering our services to our customers, and then from there, we're getting into the modular solutioning phase. In the modular solutioning, you discover different business models. Not only just providing the products, but also you're providing subsystems or the full systems. Or it could even be the outcome-based services. It could be cooling as a service, it could be sustainability as a service, it could be net zero as a service, and providing that services as well. We are happy to say that we have announced here in Singapore as well some large project with the cooling as a service. So those discussions are possible when we have the right partners and we engage in these discussions very early in the game. And then we're getting into the integrated delivery. I'm sure many of you have experienced the difficulty working with multiple partners and difficulty in launching these projects across the world. We do have very complex data centers that is launched in, let's say, Jakarta, and then you're going to launch in another one in Kuala Lumpur, another one in Taipei, another one in Seoul, but they're not the same. The difficulties that we deal with it's a way too much for sometimes our customers to manage. But we have that expertise. We have that experience on delivering these integrated project solutions. Our models in the project delivery is able to deliver very customized solutions. So oftentimes everyone likes standardization because standardization makes it easy. But when you go to implement it, you see a lot of variations required, which is way of life. Only way to manage those variations is to have that local capability in the countries where we operate business, where you operate business. And not only then in the execution phase, on a launching, construction phase, and then maintaining it for the life of the data center as well. Making it a truly outcome-based, truly preventive maintenance, keeping your uptime high, keeping your energy efficiency low, and then doing continuous upgrades as necessary as well along the way. So that's our 4-step integrated delivery model to handle, to face the difficulties in the data center industry today. So we spoke at the beginning from the Forrester Consulting research that we did it together. The importance of going to market faster, getting to operations faster. Importance of keeping the uptimes high. Importance of improving the capacity and then utilization and ultimately the decarbonization as well. So keeping this cycle tight requires lots of depth and expertise. And in Johnson Controls, we talk about the footprint. These are some of the real examples that we have done across Asia Pacific. I think Asia Pacific complexities are very well understood, that all of you coming and representing different parts of the region. And there are significant challenges on how we launch these projects, how we operate these projects in these different parts of the region. And that's why we in Johnson Controls have become local where we operate the business, and we maintain our global expertise so that we bring in our lesson learned and expertise on a global basis as well as on local basis. This is some of the examples that we're showing here, whether it is in India or Singapore or Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, Philippines, and Australia, just to name few. It's a very, very complex data centers. There are a lot that we are all learning together as data centers are continuously going to increase its presence, and it's continuously going to get complex, and gigawatts have started to make its way. So what I encourage all of you to do is to visit our booth. We have our booth at J40, which is next to this auditorium, and I encourage all of you to join us and learn some of these examples. And our experts in engineering, our experts in a solution development and a project execution are there to share some of their experiences and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much.